The world has gone crazy, Kaylee. People are losing their minds, and we decided to take our family out of the suburbs, move them 3 hours north into the country, put down roots. Some people think we're crazy for it, but here's why we did it. So guys, we've been canning now for 2 days. Kaylee's been up to her knees in spaghetti sauce, picking tomatoes, peeling tomatoes, putting those tomatoes into this 70-year-old like crock pot.
It's a family heirloom. His grandmother used to use it. I don't know that I'd leave the house with it on, but it worked really well.
So now we've put all that sauce into some jars. It is canning right over there as we speak. We've got 14 minutes left. We thought we'd rip a video. So let's take them back when everyone was losing it.
As far as I was concerned, you were the one that was losing it more than anybody else, because I was pretty set on my ideas of how the world worked and the way that I kind of leaned, I don't know what you want to say, politically, socially. Like, I had my own ideas. I was pretty much nailed down in how it was that I felt. And for the most part, we were in agreement about a lot of things. Then all of a sudden, this man starts buying guns. He starts buying ammunition. He starts putting together like, oh shit, go bag. You know, all of a sudden, all of this like survival gear is infiltrating our house. Now it's in the basement. We've got food, we've got MREs like stacked up. All this like emergency preparedness. And I was like, you know, on one hand, it's great to be prepared. But on the other hand, I was like, he's losing it here. But really, like, what was going on was that he was kind of peeling back layers, looking at what was going on and asking really basic questions and then figuring it out. And so it was like over the course of a couple of years. And I was not on board at first. I was very much like, I was worried. I was scared and worried because I was a blue-haired liberal married to a doomsday prepper. So you can imagine the tense dinner time conversations that probably happened. But it was just, you know, over time, he would do little things like he would throw a podcast on while we were in the car, and I would sit there kind of grumpy about it, but I would be listening. And then, you know, over time, I would start to be like, shh, that makes a little bit of sense. And so over time, like, I started to realize, like, I was really wrong about a lot of things.
Because I don't think it was like you were wrong and I was right. I think it was like a lot of us were just unaware of what was going on in the world, and like we were asleep. You know, a lot of people don't realize what's in their food, what's in their medicine, and all these different aspects of their life. And I think when all of this stuff was going on, like, I wanted to get into like the middle of this thing is all corrupt, now this is corrupt, and now this. I was like, holy shit.
There were implications. Like, if one thing is really messed up, then like what else is messed up?
Right.
And it sort of is this domino effect, and all of a sudden you're buying guns and everything, and you're looking at ways to like get the heck out of the city. But we had to admit, we saw what it looked like for things to go a little bit sideways.
Yeah, and it was there for a bit.
And so we saw what that was like, and we were like, what would happen if it was like really went south?
Yeah.
And then we're looking at where we were. If you zoom out on a map, we were like smack in the middle of this massive grid of neighborhood. And like for the most part, everybody was real nice, but would they be real nice? Like,
after 3 days of not eating.
Yeah.
Thing.
If something really went wrong, and we didn't. It's not like we liked to think about that all the time.
Right.
But it was a sobering thought.
We were at a position where, like, where do we want to raise our kids? Our kids are about to be going into school. We were looking at like areas around where we were living, and at that time, like, we couldn't be 10 minutes away from a Target. We couldn't be away from all these different city stuff and resources and restaurants.
I just wanted brunch.
She wanted all these things, and I was like, I don't give two shits if I don't ever see another person in this world and I just go off into the middle of the woods.
Oh, that's still true.
Right. And so I was like, look, we need to figure out where we're going to live, raise our kids. And so we were looking at all these places in the suburbs, and everything was like $1 million of like what we wanted. Like, I wanted land. You can't get land down there. You could get like maybe 1 acre of land, right, with a nice house. And I was like, Kayla, like, we're going to have to put down a lot of money if we're going to do this.
We started to realize, oh, wow, yeah, that yard's going to be pretty small, isn't it?
And so, like, while the world was going crazy, we really started looking at our beliefs and our values. And I remember we were up visiting my parents, who lived 3 hours north, middle of the woods, middle of nowhere. I grew up here, and I remember talking to Caleb being like, what if we had land here? It's not nearly as expensive. We can actually build our house from scratch, design exactly how we want everything to be.
And for the first time ever, I was like, That's not the craziest idea I've ever heard.
Right. I remember asking my dad right about when we were about to leave, and I said, hey, whenever you get a chance, look for some land for us to build our house on. And he was like, what? So we're expecting 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go by before we hear anything. 2 hours go by, and he's like, found something, turn around, come back. Like, there was a house on it, old house, old barn on it, and we were like, well, we could just burn that thing. We could, tear that barn
Nobody
down.
had lived here in a very long time.
Right. And so, like, we got looking around, and they're like, look, it's going to take a lot of work. We're going to have to clear a lot of land, push a lot of dirt, do a lot of work, but, like, that's what we did. We're like, hey, we're going to put down shop right here. I reached out to a buddy of mine. He helped us build the house that we wanted. We threw a garden on over there. We got chickens over there. Kaylee wants goats and all this shit. And we're like, are we Amish? We completely changed our life all because it was like, we just had to look at our values. And we're like, we want to have a business where we can make a big impact, but we really want to slow down. A simple living. Grow our own food. We can harvest it. We can can it. And we'll go hunting. Yeah, when the world was going crazy, I kind of look at it as a blessing now because we've been introduced to so many different awesome things. Like, our life has completely changed because of what happened.
The speed of our life is right about where I feel like it should be for us.
So guys, we're gonna get back to canning. Our timer's about to go off here in 18 seconds.
All right.
So from here on out, what you're planning to expect from these series, we're gonna talk a little bit about simple living. We're gonna talk a lot about, creating your own business, your own online business, and what we're doing right now and how we're helping other people and all that stuff. So if you like this kind of stuff, let us know in the comments section. We'll see you guys in the next video.